Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Divine Cupid podcast. If you're new, I'm your host, Indy Watson, and if you're not new, welcome back. Hi guys, welcome back to another podcast episode. What is today? Thursday? Today's Thursday. Happy Thursday. Bro, literally I feel disgusting right now. Like I'm trying to keep it together, but I ate really gross today. I had McDonald's for breakfast, and then I had McDonald's for lunch, and then I had a bag of chips. And I don't really eat. I've had McDonald's for 3 days in a row. My internal organs feel like they're going to pop. They feel gross. I feel gross. And I wanted to go get there's I have this thing, it's a detox food. It's my food when I'm okay, I need to reset my palate. And as I'm walking to the store, the owner is walking out the door. I was okay, great. Time to just take my behind home. So I went home. I was going to get a cold Coke, but I was I don't feel like drinking sodas today. And then my skin starts bringing out and my teeth start looking weird. And I'm just not in the mood. So I don't know. I have a lot of problems. I feel very overstimulated because the insides of my bodies feel gross. And then I'm getting hot. Just a lot. Too much. I probably overstimulated you guys in the process of explaining my overstimulation. But low-key, I always try to do a podcast episode centered on what I'm feeling, what I'm going through, what I'm experiencing. And I feel that's what makes them more genuine and more deeply connected to the art of podcasting, because it's I'm talking about real feelings in real time. And the actuality of it is when you are I'm right now in a place of peace and contentment. I feel very good in my circumstances, good in the pace and the places my life is going, and then the journey that I'm on. I feel very I was gonna say patient with the process, but that's not really the word. I feel very hopeful of the opportunities that life is presenting itself towards me. And in this, I feel the subject of this podcast episode kind of contradicts and counteracts what I'm saying. But I think it's very important that when our lives are in good spaces and we are in good places, we start anticipating the worst. And the thing that I've thought about the most within the past couple of weeks is I'm always anticipating the worst. I feel I can never be in the midst of something good. I can never have good circumstances. I can never be in a good situation. I can never do good at work. I can never do good and perform well in the things that I usually do good and perform well in without expecting a major crash out or a major fail to succumb in my life. I think the problem kind of stems from our thought process that we don't necessarily deserve good things. Now, we may not actually say those things out loud, but subconsciously we believe we don't deserve good things. Good things just are not to come by us. And when we experience something good for so long, it's oh, it's supposed to be bad. I hear a lot of people say, oh, I had a really good month this month. I know next month is going to be trash. And it's why do you not believe that you deserve good things always and all the time? Why do you think because you had such a good month this month that next month is going to be bad? I feel because we subconsciously think so often that bad things are supposed to find us, they inevitably do, because we're not focusing on the good, we're focusing on the bad. We're waiting for the bad. We're never present in the moment. We're never enjoying what's around us. We're never focusing on what it is that we are actually doing and doing well at. We are more focused on the parts of our life where we are failing. Why are we constantly so consumed in failure? And that's another thing, because failure to me has always been my biggest fear. I feel if I'm scared of nothing else in this life, I'm scared of failure. I'm scared of failing. I'm scared of not being successful. I'm scared of not doing good. I'm scared of being broke. I'm scared of poverty. I'm scared that I'm going to let my parents down. I'm scared that I'm going to disappoint the people around me. I'm scared that my life isn't going to be up to what it's supposed to be. I'm scared that I won't fulfill my potential. And I'm very fearful of those things. I fear failing in my own life, because it's I don't want to fail the people around me. I don't want to fail myself. I don't want to fail the idea that I have of myself and my life. I want to be good. I want to do good. And yeah, just having this fear of failure has kind of turned into an obsession with the idea of failing and constantly worrying, because it's the things that we dread the most, we kind of suspect them to happen. It's I dread getting cheated on, but then when you get into every relationship, you suspect that the person that you're with is going to cheat on you. Or I dread that I'm going to fail this test because I didn't study. And then it's okay, now you put it out there that you're going to fail the test because you didn't study. Like, it's like, whenever I would like struggle with like test taking, I'd be like, why don't I not trust in the own knowledge that I already have from the things that I've been learning? Like, why do I doubt myself? Because it's like, I feel like when you are assured in yourself, because reassurance comes in so many different ways, that like we're so focused and we emphasize so much reassuring our partners and reassuring our friends and reassuring the people that are around us, but we don't necessarily reassure ourselves. You know, we don't try to take our mind away from failure. We are too consumed and obsessed with it. Excuse me, is basically what I'm trying to say. I ask myself on a regular basis, like, am I the problem? Like, am I the problem? Because it's like, I'm always in something good and I'm expecting something bad. I'm always doing something good and I'm waiting for something bad. My head is so far up into the past and the future that I've never once sat there and focused on the present. Me and my friend, I'm on the phone. I'm taking my sister to school, I think. Taking my sister to school, and she's ranting about like her situation or whatever, and I'm listening to her, and I'm hearing her out, you know, I'm giving her an opportunity to speak, and I just start thinking, and everything she's saying, like, it makes sense. Like, everything, I feel like when we have valid issues and we feel like something bad is supposed to happen, and, you know, it all stems from trauma. It all still stems from unhealed parts of ourselves, portions of our lives, things that we've experienced that we never fully took the time to grow from, mature from, and like really like heal from. I understand how that all kind of goes into the process of self-sabotaging. It's like we are in the face of something good, and because we subconsciously believe we don't deserve something good, we kind of make it bad. I used to be the kind of person that would very much overreact in my emotions, because I felt like in my life I have never been heard, I've never been validated, I've never been listened to, and I've never felt like my emotions mattered enough to continue to vocalize them and talk about things and, you know, bring situations up, because I've always had my feelings minimized, I've always had them overlooked, I've always been the one to apologize for doing something wrong, even though I'm the one who had the problem with their actions. Like, I've always been in places where people are mad at my reactions, but they don't ever consciously consider their actions or why I'm reacting the way that I'm reacting. So I was very quick to withdraw, and I was very quick to be like, bro, I don't owe nobody no explanation. I'm not explaining nothing. It just is what it is. Like, goodbye. And I withdraw my energy. I withdraw my time, my presence, everything. Like, I was so emotionally unstable in a sense of I couldn't be mature and vocalize how I felt without feeling like I would be put in a vulnerable position of my feelings going overlooked. So that stemmed and triggered a space and a place of my life where, in the face of conflict, now I'm not responding, or I'm blocking you, or I'm unfollowing you of everything, unsharing my location. I'm like completely distancing myself from you, giving you no explanation why. And it's like, you know, you think you're healed in situations, you think you're better at, you know, being less emotionally unstable and less emotionally erratic. You know, like, you think you have a better hold of your emotions when you're in a space of solitude and nobody is there to disturb your peace. You think you've healed from this demon of self-sabotage, and then you're put in the same situation and you have to look at yourself and think like, damn, I'm actually not healed because I'm doing the same thing over and over and over again. There's so many things that come with like self-sabotage and the idea that we are sabotaging ourselves when we're in a place of solitude and in a space of aloneness, that no one is triggering the things about us that we really need to heal and focus on and work on the most. You know, we're not in spaces where that unhealed side of us is being brought to light. So, you know, obviously we're going through life thinking we're healed, and then you're put in a space where you realize you're not, and then you kind of sit back at yourself and you feel like that, you know, you're not going to make progress, you're not going to grow, you're not going to learn. But like, you don't wake up one night and stop self-sabotaging yourself. You know, sometimes I always say we can be our own biggest enemies, from the way that we think about ourselves, from the ways that we act towards ourselves, the way that we perceive ourselves. I always say the way that you feel about yourself is the way that you will treat others. You know, when you have an unhealthy relationship with yourself, you are bound to have an unhealthy relationship with others, because, you know, it all starts with you. Like, how you respond and how you react and how you treat you will affect how you do it with other people. So you can't necessarily be successful in any relationship or anything in your life until you learn to focus on the present and enjoy the present for what it is. excuse me, but until you learn how to enjoy the present for what it is, because when you are focused so much on the moment that you are currently in, you don't have the time to think about what was or what will be. I think it's important, which is so hard. It's so hard to be present, and I'm trying to master the art of just being present in the moment and enjoying things for what they are. Because I was on the phone last night and I was talking to a friend, and I was saying how we focus so much on what could have been, or where we focus so much on potential and things and situations and the idea of things. We focus so much on what could be that we never focus on what is. And then when we're so focused on what could be, we create ideas of something, whether that's ideas of people, ideas of situations, ideas of circumstances. We create expectations that never get met. So then we also see when this idea that we have curated in our minds is not being fulfilled, that is also a form of self-sabotage in a way, because we never actually look at anything for what it is or what it was. We're looking at it for what we want it to be, and when it's not meeting our standards and our expectations, we're projecting that idea onto other things and other people, and that lets us down in the end when it doesn't meet what we had ideally hoped it would be. And I feel like that sets you up for failure so many times, where you have ideas for your partner, the things that you want them to be, and they're just not that. And then you feel like, you've wasted your time and you've let yourself down, but you're not experiencing, when you're so far into the past, into the future, you're not focused on the moment that you are present and current, that you are currently in and you are supposed to be present in. You're not focused or involved in that. You're focused more on things that also couldn't potentially even happen, like even when you're so focused on the future, or you're so focused on the past, and you're so in that unhealed state of mind, like you're really projecting and putting things into the atmosphere that never were necessarily supposed to be there. I always think with self-sabotage and with being the problem in your own life, because I don't think that it's real I actually do. I think it's real to be the problem in your own life. I think it's real to be a problem in some circumstances, but I mean, when you recognize in your life that there are problems and you have a problem and you can be the problem, you can only start searching for solutions from that point in time. So it's always good to sit back and ask yourself, like, am I the problem in this situation? Like, am I the problem? Because that brings also a sense of self-awareness and reflection, and it allows you to analyze, how you afflict and affect a situation just as much as how another person is afflicting and affecting a situation. There's so much going into it. I feel like when I think about, and when I ask myself if I the problem, I just think about the fact that I can self-sabotage, and I do sometimes put negative energy into the atmosphere, and that's bad, because then you're going into things with a negative mindset, and then you're not expecting, or you're not, you're not experiencing the situation for what it's supposed to be. You're so focused on the negative that now in this whole wonderful and blissful experience has turned bitter because you were so focused on something so pessimistic. And I've always kind of struggled with being a pessimist deep down. I've always said, like, I wouldn't claim pessimism. I wouldn't say I'm a pessimist. I would say I'm a realist. Like, I just think, like, all right, this is not gonna work. Like, this isn't gonna last long. Like, I've always been in the face of good things, and I'm like, I know this is gonna hurt. And even when you think of things like that, like, I know it's gonna hurt when this is no longer a pattern or routine in my life. I know it's gonna suck when I can't get into this. Like, it's like when you're applying for jobs, you're like, I know I'm not getting this job. Okay, well, you just spoke so much negativity over yourself and your circumstances and your life and your relationships and what you want out of it, that now, like, it has more of a chance and more of a likelihood of being a reality. I always say, like, when you speak words out loud that are in your brain, they become real. I do think there's so much power in the tongue and power in the things that we are saying. So when you put something out in the air and in the atmosphere so many times, it is only bounded to become true. When you say and speak so much negativity over yourself, your life, your circumstances, it is bounded to have negativity rule over you. I think it's inevitable. It's not inevitable. Like, it's inevitable to have these thoughts, and it's inevitable to be not aware of how powerful our mouths are and, like, the words that we speak truly are. But it definitely is. What is the word? It's like opposite of inevitable. I want to say controllable. We can control how we speak over situations. We can control how much we dwell and fixate on certain things. We can control how we let certain circumstances impact us. I try in my life to have, like, I'm reading this book. It's called, it should be over here. it's like something about mindset. Like, it's something about mindset and how we think about things. And I always say, like, I'm reading this book, but the reality of it is I read the first 5 pages and I was like, I'm sleepy, and I fell asleep. But the book talked about how when you are in the face of setback, people who have like these fixed mindsets often think like, damn, why does everybody hate me? Like, I've always been like the person who, when I'm crying about one thing, not I'm crying about all things. But it's like when you are in the face of setback, like when your best friend doesn't answer the phone and you really need to talk to her, it's dang, like all my friends hate me. Nobody wants to talk to me. I'm alone. I'm lonely. I'm a loser. I suck. I'm this. I'm that. I'm probably not a good friend. She probably doesn't want to be friends with me anymore. Like, that's how we think. That's how we think, because when we really need people and when we're really dependent in certain aspects, we start thinking the worst. We start anticipating the worst of a situation. We start anticipating that people don't want to be in our lives anymore, that they don't care about us anymore, that they don't want to be friends anymore. Like, that is a mindset that we need to learn to dissipate and cut all ties with, because that is not the reality. And you are curating an idea in your head that does stunt your relationships, because now you created this idea that your best friend hates you and she doesn't want to be friends with you anymore. And then you're going to start projecting your fear of her leaving you and not being friends with you anymore into that relationship and that friendship. And she's going to be on the receiving end of it, like, whoa, what is going on? Like, why are you like this? And obviously, I think that is also a state of overthinking. Everything needs reassurance in life. You can't just cut your brain to completely stop overthinking, but a growth mindset and a sense of, oh, she's not answering the phone. Maybe she's busy. Maybe she's doing something. The mindset in the book is really centered about not taking things personally and not taking them to heart, and not making every bad thing personally about you. Don't make it that you are the problem. Don't make it that you suck as a person. Don't make it so where you see yourself so negatively in every circumstance and situation that doesn't go your way, because in actuality, not everything is going to go the way that we want it to go, and not everything is going to be the way that we want it to be. And you just have to take things as experiences and something as cherishable moments and things that you've enjoyed, you've loved, you learned from, you've grown from. You really did get to bask in that experience, and it was a blessing and it was beautiful. And I think that's how life needs to go, and how you need to learn to operate. It is a necessity at some point. I feel like I don't ever want to talk about things to be like, you need to do this and you need to do that, but you do, in order to grow, in order to thrive and be the best and better version of yourself, and to allow your relationships with yourself to prosper and your relationships with the people around you to prosper. You really do have to work on the way we project and put so much negativity into the atmosphere and into the things that we want to do and the things that we want out of life. We really do need to stop anticipating the worst. We need to stop being the problem in our own lives, that where we can't enjoy good things because we think every good thing is supposed to turn out bad. Because that's not life. You deserve good things. Good things are meant to come to you, and they came to you because I would never say you earned it or you deserved it. Good things come to you because, like, well, I guess I will say because you deserve it, but I don't want the words deserve to correlate with something that you've earned, You deserve good things because good things are just meant to find you. You're a good person. Good things are meant to happen, even to bad people, to experience, so they can experience that good things do come out of this life, and it is a good thing to be a good person. It's something to work towards. You get a reward and the satisfaction out of life when you are in the midst of something good. And don't even let something bad take you back from admiring and appreciating all the good things around you. I always say, like, I'm having a bad day, but I'm still blessed. I'm in a bad place, but there's still so much good around me. Even in the negative, you need to learn to focus on the positive. And you need to learn to not let bad things and negative experiences rule so over your head and your heart that you think now the life that you live is supposed to be gloomy, dark, and glim. Like, no, baby. You deserve a good life. You deserve good things. And it's really hard to work from these things. It's really hard to grow from these things. And it's also really hard to find people who can be patient enough with you to move in spaces where you can heal while also being in a place of comfort with them. So I think, like, it's hard, but it's so worth it to have friends who are able to grow with you and, like, reassure you and, like, comfort you in the times where your brain just goes automatically so negative. It's beautiful to journal these things. It's beautiful to talk to yourself about it, because not only do you not necessarily don't need to rule and run to other people to battle out the things in your mind, but you need to learn to battle that struggle on your own, and writing it down, journaling, talking about it, setting a voice memo up, really deconstructing the root and the why to why you think this way and what stemmed this thought. It helps so much in your life. That's really perseverance. Reflection is so beautiful. You grow so much when you are reflecting on so many different parts and aspects of yourself and your life. And yeah, like, excuse me, y'all, I've been really having a burp. That's so nasty. But that's it for today's podcast episode. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you next week. I'm gonna try to upload another podcast episode. I've been really like short-circuited and busy as heck, man, like so busy. But I'm definitely gonna try to plan more ideas, because I feel like I don't want podcast episodes to be redundant. I think obviously everything has to do with healing, growing, and being a better person in your life, for sure. But, and I only can really like rant, guys, when I'm like, oh my goodness, like, let me tell you about so. But no, more podcast episodes coming out soon. I love you guys so much. If you enjoyed this podcast episode, please share it with your friends. Like, oh my gosh, please share it with your friends. Share it on YouTube. Like, comment, and subscribe. And you guys can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is at India with 3 A's Watson. That's my main account. And then my podcast account is at The Divine Cupid. And then you can also follow at The Divine Cupid on TikTok for more content. And so, yeah, I love you guys so much. And I will see you next week. Goodbye.